Welcome to Market Mondays. It's our Friday edition today. I'm Sulhi Azman. Joining with me is Nadia, Hassan, where we bring you a lot of things that will wrap up the market today. Let's start out with the market going on. The market is ended. It's a tiny P of 0.5 points to 1,682 points. Already dispelling a bad weekend for all of us, isn't it, Nadia?
Well, actually, I don't think it's a bad weekend. I think it's an Avril Lavigne song where I think the market just has to keep holding on, you know. And
yeah, I mean,
because everybody just goes, "Hello, it's me."
Yeah, well,
the investors, it doesn't work.
Nadia and her Adele. Anyway, look at the regional market. The SGX closed 21.63 points down. The Nikkei 225 it closed 60.47 down, while Hong Kong Hang Seng ended the trade at 421 points. And the US market today, interestingly, we were talking about the Turkey and how President Obama pardons them.
Yeah, so the markets actually closed yesterday for Thanksgiving. Right. It's open again today. But today is going to be the day that everybody watches the sales figures. Black Friday. I saw some of the deals. It's ludicrous. You can buy a 50-inch TV for $150. So these are the deals that we will see. I don't think we'll see like what we saw for China, the Singles Day, where they made something ludicrous like 1 billion in 8 minutes.
In 8 minutes, yeah,
but
correct.
I think this will be very telling about the face of the American consumer.
Yeah, Nadia, I mean, saying that I would really love to go to the US and buy all those things. Anyway, those are signs of, sadness. Now let's move on to something that's made us very happy today. The sale of power assets. It was hallelujah moment for 1MDB. Finally, as part of realization plan was in motion. Interestingly though, just to recap for those of you who do not know, 1MDB actually got a new buyer for its power asset sales, for 9.83 billion ringgit. They have roped in the Chinese company, China Nuclear Power Corporation, to buy and solve part of their woes in the energy sector.
So it's good news for, in us, in the sense that after this actually happened, you did see, the bit of confidence come back in the ringgit, a little bit more prospects for the country, because 1MDB has been such a big issue. So in one hand, yes, that's quite good about it. The other hallelujah is the fact that Tenaga was supposed to be one of the front runners for these assets, but in the end they didn't, because there were a lot of criticisms about whether or not it was a bailout. Schmail but you know what I mean. It's the fact is people would have looked at that deal critically if it was for Tenaga. So right now it's somebody else's problem. Price. Price, yes, I honestly mean price.
Definitely. If you look at the Tenaga, for instance, right, the share, when 1MDB found a new buyer, right, Tenaga share immediately sold out the next day, and today it closed unchanged at 13 ringgit and 60 cents. But anyway, interestingly though, the ratings agency Standard & Poor's, they came out to say that Address Asset would have further strengthened Tenaga competitive position in Malaysia. But since Tenaga doesn't have it, it doesn't really matter, because Tenaga can always focus on its core business, generation, transmission, and also
it's a national power provider. It doesn't need anything much else. The fact is, it's already got a lot of debt. We're looking at something like about 22 billion ringgit. I think you cannot take any on more for this. And the price that you would have bought it at would have been the biggest bugbear for everybody. And now with this, it's literally someone else's issue.
Yes, correct. Now this is someone else's issue, and someone else is going to take care of that. And hopefully, this would solve part of the woes. And again, tying this to the ringgit, right? The ringgit has been actually slumping. And I remember Tan Sri Zati said that, with this 1MDB power plant issues solved, it might actually recover the ringgit. But anyway, going on to this one question to be raised here, where an UMNO lawmaker said that since Malaysians are dependent on Waze and Google, it gives valuable information to the US and Israel, although it was disputed by another minister.
Yeah, okay, so this relates to the story we're talking about. So here's the question, right? You are selling to a foreign power your power assets, part of your grid, the stuff that's running right now, and nobody made a sound about the fact that a foreign power has a portion of your grid. Instead, you made noise about how apparently Waze and Google Maps, you have to be careful about this, you have to limit your use because it might feed information to these filthy Israelites. That's the way it seems to come across, that they are nitpicking over this and not nitpicking over that. This, on one hand, this makes you sound like a paranoid schizophrenic who is, knee-deep in conspiracy theories. On the other one, I think it's a valid question.
Yeah, it is definitely a valid question. Now, this hullabaloo was started out when the Tenom MP, or the Hulu, they actually raised this issue in the parliament to this, where the Deputy Communications Minister, Datuk Jan Johari, said that, we can't consider this, and the fact that we can't consider all ICT as taboo, as we will be left behind. But anyway, here's the thing, Nadia. Waze was incorporated and established in Israel itself.
Yes. Yeah, before it was bought over by Google.
In 2013.
I think if you want to be prejudiced against it. Perfectly, it's your prerogative, as asinine as it seems to people. But the product works, and it's owned by Google. So it's one of those apps that I would actually pay for. You know, I wouldn't pay for Facebook, I'd pay for Waze.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, if you look at the issues of waste, right, there's also the issue of traceability and so on, you know. I mean, it's most social media apps are actually going
Yeah, okay, so we do have that particular issue where, yes, I think people in general overshare on Facebook. I don't think that's the app's problem. I think that is your problem.
That's the people's problem.
I do not care about what you had for lunch. I do not care about all your baby pictures for the past 20 years. Seriously, I think it's our problem, not the apps.
All right, okay, now moving on to things that made us very happy this week. Also,
Yes.
Pixar, they're celebrating the 20th anniversary of Toy Story.
Yeah, exactly. So I love this story mostly because, and we are going to shoehorn in popular culture with everybody. The fact is, I love industry changes, and nobody is as big as industry changer as Pixar and Toy Story was. It was the first fully computer-generated show, and it launched. I mean, look at the lowdown that we have in front of you right now. The fact is, Pixar has made something like 16 movies. All of them have made like $9 billion US, and you have like 7 Oscars between them. That is impressive for any studio to take home.
Yes, correct. And you know, and Toy Story was cited as one that started all as the first CGI movie. And I can't understand people who don't like animated movies.
Yeah, one of our colleagues is like that. I mean, for me, I think what was Pixar's beauty was that they didn't actually look at it as the technology. And how did they go ahead where everybody else failed was that they believed in stories for everyone. They didn't believe in stories for kids or stories for adults. They believed in stories for everyone. And if you look at this, the themes that run through Pixar, childhood, growing up, accepting your life, sisterly bonds, all these kind of bonds. It strikes a chord with almost everyone.
There's a lot of good messages hidden out there. And one thing interesting is I'm waiting for is Finding Dory, where my favorite actress or actor or host, whatever, Ellen DeGeneres will be starring. But anyway.
So they move on to the fact that they farm their people. You know, they do have a testing ground for them, and this is why they're good as they're good. I think most people should follow their example.
All right, okay. Anyway, one thing that made us sad this week is the forever going on geopolitical tensions in the world. When will it recede? That is a question I'm posing to you guys. Anyway, there was this downing of a Russian plane, Su-24 bomber in Turkey by the Turkish government. It has raised the question, where is the tipping point?
Yeah, before actually all of us start to panic, right? The fact is, Turkey has repeatedly said that it shut it down because they did not respond to their hailings. And on the other side, I mean, to be fair, what would Russia say? Yes, we went in. Yes, we believed we were spying on you. Of course, they'll come out and say no. But this, for me, is just, as the Paris attack showed, it just makes everybody more on edge.
Correct, yeah. I mean, Russia, though, Vladimir Putin has contested the claim, saying that, I rescued co-pilot Captain Konstantin Morakhdin, and it says there was no warnings, and not via the radio, not even visually.
Yeah, exactly. So he said, she said, and this is going to be very, very tough.
Game.
They're blaming each other for that point. But I think we need to keep an eye on the situation. It could just boil over.
All right, okay. That's all we have today for this week. Folks, I'm Sulhi Azman. Join with me, Nadia, Hassan. And for more information, you can always check out our website, www.theedgemarkets.com, or grab a copy of The Edge Financial Daily or The Edge Weekly, which should be published tomorrow.
Pixar's actually Good Dinosaur is actually also in theaters. If you're wondering about Pixar.
All right, okay. Good night and good luck.